Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. I'm here with Dan today. I'm Basil Allerton Blue on Twitter. How are you doing, Dan? We're obviously here to react to the game yesterday and just think about how it went and do our player ratings. But how are you feeling generally?
I'm feeling good, I generally am. Like I felt good after the game and just going through it and seeing everybody's positive vibes after the game. My Twitter page has never been so positive. Like so many good things about every single player, and it's very hard to make our Everton fans happy. But that game seems to have made a lot of our fans really happy, which I'm happy about as well because I prefer our fans when they're a bit more like uplifted, happy, and they like our team. Like generally, they seem to be giving our players a lot of credit, boost, and everything. So, yeah, I'm happy. How do you feel after that game, David?
Do you know what? One thing I was thinking during that game was that that the actual team, I don't dislike them. The last few years I've gone through the team and I've thought, don't really like him, don't really like them, don't really like them. Not many players I thought I actually can rely on and actually like as characters. But I looked at the 11 and I thought, actually, I quite like these players. I know we haven't seen quite a few of them, but there's not many in there. I think, I don't really like him and I don't want to see him again. But even the likes of Tom Davies that people get on his back and really have a go at him, and I didn't really want him to play really, but he had a really good game. I'm sure we'll come on to it for when he was on the pitch. Generally feeling quite good about the whole situation. Do you think the point was the fair result in the end, or do you think we should have? How do you think it should have gone on kind of the balance of the game?
I think sometimes in football's not fair. A team can play better than you, and you can still nick the game. I feel like with the chance that we had at the end, we could have won. With the Cody chance and the Mupe chance later on, I do feel with all the good that they did earlier on and that we had earlier on with them, I do feel towards the end of the game when the game could be won, we had the better chances. So if we was to nick it, I feel like we deserved it because at the end of the game to see who wants it more, we showed we wanted it more. But generally, they hit the woodwork, we hit the woodwork. We both went for it, didn't we? And I'm happy that because normally a derby, if we went for it, we'd get battered. But we holded our own this derby.
Because I think it was really balanced. I think even the first half particularly. Evening, Jason.
We are reading your comments.
We were particularly solid in the first half for most of the game, and I think it was down to Liverpool playing Nunes. I think we actually liked that because it gave Tarkowski and Cody the opportunity to just mark a striker, whereas when Firmino was on there, he just drops off and causes different problems. I think first half was good from that respect, and we never lacked control. But we did have a lot of chances during that game. We had Mopey in the first half where Gordon just wasn't quite onto it. We had Mopey in the second half where he should have really scored at the end. We had some really clear chances.
Patterson was a good one as well. I watched that back today. Patterson where he bombed it forward, that power drive run, cut him open and smashed it, and it got a block. But Patterson, that was a good chance as well. And McNeil as well, the McNeil and Bull. I watched that back today, and after I did think in the game, Basil, I did think, you know what, he's moved his arm towards the ball there, but because the shot was good, it just seemed to get forgot about. He had his shot, it was unlucky, it was an amazing save by the keeper. But I thought when he shot, it was deflected, and I thought he put his arm up towards the ball. So watching it back, what do you think? Because I do think that was a deliberate handball.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I've really seen that one enough. I think was it Milner?
Yeah, he's literally he's gone to his head towards the ball, but moved his arm towards the ball more.
I know.
And I think if you're doing that,
to
me, you're asking for it.
We're never going to get that decision. We ain't. Let's bring Ryan in, who I think has watched the game back as well for his sins, and see what he thought on that one. Are you ready to come in, Ryan? He's taking up the whole screen.
Really? I went to the game, so I had the emotional side of it, and then I watched it all back, the full 90 minutes. And You can easily skip through it, by the way, guys, if you want to watch it again, because the ball isn't in play as long as you think. It's probably in play for about 55 of the 90 minutes. I think you've all made really good points from what I've heard. They missed a red card. A clear. It's the movement. It's not even like he's accidentally caught him. He's stood on him and then he slid right down and landed on his foot. I mean, he could have pulled it away. It's a clear red.
I think the footage on that's deceiving because they've made it look like he hit his ankle and stood on his foot. But if you actually watch where he hits first, he hits his shin and slides the studs all the way down to the ankle. Now, if his bones wasn't strong, then it snaps on the shin. I've seen that happen loads of times. The leg snaps as soon as it makes contact with the shin. Very lucky. 21 years old, he could have literally ended his career with that. Look at Gomez.
Because it's hit him straight on in the shin pad, I think that's taken the impact.
Yeah.
I think higher, or he's cut him on the side. He's FUCKED. He's in a bad way. But they missed that. That was a red card. Arguably. The penalty, you're spot on. He moves. He's got his elbow out. He actually moves towards it. I mean, that is a penalty. You're not allowed to make a gesture towards play to the ball. And also the offside goal. I mean, we've talked about this to death. He looks offside, but actually it takes a small deflection off the defender, James Milner, and that taking it by making a deliberate play to the ball, it becomes onside. If it wasn't a deliberate play and it was like a shot that's deflected and then gone to someone who scored, then that is still offside. But if you make a deliberate play, he's onside. Well, that is what one of the interpretations of the law is. That
I think that law, Ryan, is silly, but that is the law. And if that's the law, then it should have gone our way. So I do feel that we should have got that.
There's three things there where the refs cheated. I mean, the ref, emotionally speaking, I mean, I sit next to David in the park, and as you know, emotionally we were very angry with a lot of niggly fouls that were either going Liverpool's way or getting overlooked from an Everton perspective. But there's three big decisions there that haven't gone our way, and I do tend to find, even in the Goodison derbies, when we do okay and we are arguably the better team or we're in the game for sure, we get robbed. I watched one back from 2020, a COVID season, and Tom Davis hits the post with a really, it was a nothing game, and Davis hits the post. Very similar. We never seem to get the look in the derbies.
That Brendan Davis has just said the same in the comments as me. He noticed it straight away, that Milner one.
I think it's because it looked like a good effort and the fans are all applauding it and didn't actually see that it was a handball until after. That's why that didn't given. It doesn't dispute that they've missed it. Is it a clear and obvious error is the whole sort of thing that's going around. And I'd say, are they really going to sit down, particularly with the offside one, and look at it minuscule? I don't know what you saw on the TV down with Sky, etc.
No, I could see it hit his arm. As soon as the shot was hit, I could see the deflection and I could see him moving his arm towards it. And then the referees, they even showed it, but then it got bypassed straight away. And I think because the shot was the keeper's save looked so good and McNeil's shot looked good with the deflection, they kind of just said, well, you're getting that. You're not actually getting your penalty. You're getting that because it looked good, but that's not how football works. Generally, if it was a penalty, it should have been a penalty. And you can watch that 100 times. We've seen in games Van Dijk move his arms, like when he's messed up, he's moved his arms behind his back so he doesn't handball it. He's moved his arm towards the ball. There's no excuse.
It's annoying that these decisions didn't go our way and that we didn't have that slice of luck that we need. Where the Davis shot goes in rather than hit the post
at home as well.
Having watched it back in full, Liverpool did have a lot of chances in the end. They didn't finish very well. The keeper also made some big saves. We wasted chances. The Tom Davis one was unlucky. There was one Neil Maupay actually where he's through quite early. He should just hit it first time instead of fanning around on the ball. There was one where Onana actually goes through and instead of just taking it maybe inside on his right and shooting to score, he goes with his left and tries to cross it to no one. So they were a couple half chances there that you'd want them to do better with. The Davis one, we had a couple of shots. The second half, obviously, we've had the Damari Gray had an effort. Iwobi hit narrowly wide. They made that save from the double deflection from McNeil. There was the the offside goal. But the Mopé chance where we actually did to Liverpool what they would do to us the whole match, which is from their set piece, we got the ball back and run up the other end. And Mopé has got the whole goal to aim at. He showed no composure whatsoever. He kind of like, the technique behind the strike was embarrassing. I mean, you watch it back, it's a really crap finish. He hits it straight at the goalkeeper. 6 yards out, whole goal to aim at. Unbelievable. He should just tap it in to the right-hand side. It's an easy finish. I would have scored it.
Sometimes it's luck though. Generally, like you see players misconnect with a shot and the shot goes in. You look at Gordon's goal last game. Gordon hit it and it went through the player's legs, but he scored, but it went through the player's legs. And if it goes in the back of the net, you don't care. You're buzzing. And it wasn't the best shot, but it's one of them. He could hit it 5 times and it'd go in 5 times. Normally, it's just unlucky.
In hindsight, he should have passed it to Onana, who was just free at the back post, but he just obviously didn't see him. I think what was really good to see on that move was the fact that we had 4 of our players sprinting full pelt to get into the box with Damari Gray speeding down the left wing. You know, that desire for the players to get from one box to the other just to get that goal.
It would have been lovely to see us outlive Liverpool because, to be honest with you, until very late in the game when they had those chances, they had a lot of the ball but didn't do anything with it. And the only time they really looked like scoring was from our own set pieces when they were running up the end of the end and nearly scored. And to be fair, we did get a grip to that at some point, but it would have been lovely. You know, I think a point is a fair result. Am I satisfied? It's unfortunate. I think we could have won the game. Maybe should have won it. They'll say the same thing at the end of the day. I think we tired. I think the difference between the two teams is at the moment they can bring on 4 players, 5 players, whereas we haven't really got the options we want to bring yet. Maybe James Garner will add that, and maybe the likes of Ben Godfrey to add some pace late in the game. You know, we've got options in the squad. I think it'll come good. But I'm happy with it. Hang on a sec. I don't like that when people bring the comments up when someone's speaking because it just literally goes in front of people. It was fine. I mean, 38 draws and we'll stay in the league because 38 points should keep us up. Although I do think the standard of the league is a bit better this season. You look at Fulham, who you'd hope to go straight back down. They've actually got probably he's going to score 20 goals this season in Mitrovic. I mean, he would have been top of my list for summer signings. Along with Ivan Toney, Brentford have obviously got him. Bournemouth won at Forest, so you don't know who the crap teams are. So you start to get a bit nervous. But honestly, I think if we get Calvert-Lewin back in there, Gay starts, you know, in the next games, I think we'll be fine. It's just at the moment we're like, as a lot of people have used, with a car without the wheel. You know, you put the wheel on, the car will go. If we get Calvert-Lewin back, we get Mopé up to speed maybe, and we get Garner, and I think we'll be fine. I think we can finish mid-table comfortably. But at the moment, it's kind of like going through the motions. I suppose that's another topic, isn't it, really, to criticise why we took so long to get the players in. But I think we'll be fine. On that showing, if we can play with that level of intensity, we'll be fine.
No, I do. I agree with you. I said to you, it's just gelling these players in now. It's only going to get better and better. And I feel like there's more positives for us than what there was for them, to be fair, because they look pretty weak. And we've got loads of players to come in. Garner to come in. Gay looked really good when he come on, didn't he? He showed like he is back who he was. Like the composure that he had. There was one point where he made a couple of passes. 1-2's got us up the pitch, and Gordon was shattered. But he's definitely looks like he's going to be a gem for us, Garner Gay does.
On the ball, he's better. I mean, his first touch was to fire a pinged pass out to who we thought was probably Leighton Baines, but it turned out to be the Ukrainian.
They look.
We thought that's how's he controlling that, but no, Idrissa Gay is he's top player. It's just a shame he's not 26.
I was surprised how much. I've been watching videos today. People have been tweeting. I was surprised how much Onana and Garner Gay, the partnership was good together. They seem to know each other's movement and stuff like that. And they linked really well. So I'm quite excited to see that as well.
I'll just say one more thing before David does the player ratings.
Yeah.
Onana's only at probably 25% of his potential. I mean, I watched him, and I'm not criticizing him here. Take this as whatever. He jogs around. He's not going in full pelt at people. He's reading and assessing the situation. I feel like he's probably not anywhere near his full fitness or his full potential. And Garnegay has just signed. He's not played a game in months. He's not trained. He's only going to get better. Iwobi's now with actual players who can help him around him, who've got defensive awareness, can actually maybe allow him to do his job a bit better and create and make things happen and link up. So I'm happy with that. And then I think when you've got that function and that base in that midfield, by the way, 4-3-3 all the way, unless for special circumstances. Gordon and Gray. Gordon had an off game yesterday, and we'll come to that in the player ratings. Gray was the better of the two, and he looks like he wants to make things happen. And if those two don't have to worry about, we've got to get up with a counter attack, make things happen, and then get back 70 yards because we've got no one who can defend. It's the whole team's going to function a lot better. And then you've got the base of Cody and Tarkowski. I mean, whoever said he can't defend in a two, he's absolutely chatting bollocks. He's had 2 brilliant games as a centre half with Tarkowski. They're like, I don't know, they're like carbon copies of each other, and they just work, And I think it suits us a bit better, the 4-4-2. Mikalenko's not really an adventurous fullback. He doesn't have that pace. He doesn't really have a good delivery. He's not really a threat, I see. So I think that helps, and maybe he can tuck in. He helps the other 2 centre-backs, and Patterson can be that engine on the right.
I'm not saying they're the same as these players, but Italy was the same with their centre-backs back in the day. They had 2 leaders in defence, didn't they? And they won the World Cup with the 2 leaders as centre-backs. That wasn't very fast, but they read the game really well.
We've gone from feeling really down and deflated. I am still disappointed we didn't get an elite forward. I know we're not going to have 40, 50 million for a Mitrovic or a Ivan Toney. I hope we'll be in that position soon. But yeah, we should have signed a better, winger/striker who can come and mix it up with them. But I think the business overall is fine for where we are. I think it's clever, smart, as you said, with the 2 centre-backs, that midfield, keeping Gordon. We just need to keep Calvert-Lewin fit, and I think we'll be fine. I'm more positive now than I was a couple of weeks ago. Over to you, Basil.
Yeah, I thought we, we just defended a lot better than usual as a unit, as a solid unit. The 4 at the back were completely solid. The 3 in midfield out dominated Liverpool, I thought, and allowed us to win a lot of second balls and gain a lot more control than what we have done at Anfield, and Goodison against them in the past. I don't know how much of that was down to the fact they had kids playing in midfield. With all respect to us, because they had 2 kids in there, didn't they? Or they were playing a 4-4-2 as well, so they obviously had less in the midfield than they usually do. But I think we were able to capitalize on that, and we look strong as a result. I don't think, Ryan, we could persist with 4-3-3 on a regular basis. I think it will be intermittent. I think he'll go 5 at the back, 3 at the back, 4 at the back. I think he'll swap it around depending on who we play. I think you look at Arsenal next week and he'll know they packed the midfield, so he'll probably stick with the 4. But from what he said, and I was watching the BT interview last night, which was 30 minutes of tactical stuff with Lampard, it seems like he's going to be quite flexible, at least till he's sort of ironed out exactly who he wants in this team. And he started to put the building blocks in, but he's probably quite far away from what he wants, and he's got to mature and develop his players.
I think that's why fans were getting a little bit wound up at the start of the season with the 4. I think it was the formation was winding people up, because I think it works as a really good attacking formation if you've got fullbacks with real pace that play high and wide, but can get back to stop the counter-attack. I think what we've been doing with it was we had the 5 static defenders in a line, and then you'd have the midfield overrun and 3 up front who were blowing out their arse trying to get back, exhausted, and try and make things happen. I mean, it's dysfunctional. So the 5, we have got Holgate and Godfrey coming back, and you'd argue they're really suited to the wide defending positions. But I think when we were doing it, we were leaving these horrible spaces in behind both wing backs. So whenever Mikalenko or Patterson would go forward, there'd be horrible space in behind them. And then you've got Tarkowski, who's your best centre-back, you want him engaging with centre-halves. It's basically playing as an auxiliary left-back, trying to cover all that space that Mikalenko's left. That doesn't work. You're not getting the best out of him. You've got Cody in the middle, and often he's marking nobody because the two centre-backs are pulling into those little spaces. You know, the idea is he steps into midfield. So
I don't think he trusted. I don't think he trusted playing the 4 at the back. He tried it against that American team and we got battered, and they wasn't that good. And he's tried it. I think now he's tried the bait and it's worked. And I generally think that he's going to stick to this now because Lampard's not stupid. He's playing this. We love it, and if we love it, he probably loves it as well. And finally, he can let, like you've just said, his Gordons and his Grays and his attacker go forward. And he's solid in the middle because with the wing backs, we can get forward, but then our middle is exposed. So now, generally, he's going to see that he looks solid all over the pitch. Like, generally, I feel good all over the pitch now. Like, centre-backs, right, left back, the 3 centre-mids, I feel very strong. They can also help your left and right back and your centre-backs. And then just with Gordon, Gray and Mupé and Calvert-Lewin to come back, just let them go forward and they don't have to get back as much. And that's how we're going to score more goals, I feel. So it is banging formation for me.
I mean, I'm not saying I want us to go back to the back 5. That's quite the opposite. It suits us much better in the 4. I'm just going off what I've been reading and what I've watched in that video. But I think Patterson and Mykolenko it actually suits them to play in the back 4. I mean, people have said, you know, they can attack as wing backs. I'm not sure they can. And I think the idea of them focusing on one role, which is to defend, allows Gray and Gordon, who will be playing out wide, to do their stuff out wide.
But Patterson was actually playing quite further forward. Yeah. I think it's Mykolenko who's the one who's got nothing about him.
Mykolenko's got very little about him going forward, but I do think Patterson will develop into an attacking threat. But he does get forward, but he doesn't offer a lot going forward.
Just
at the
trying
moment.
to bed himself in. I do think he should.
Exactly. So
back. I just think it's the nature of the system. But you can now say with certainty that even in the 4-3-3, the fullbacks can go really high and wide. They can actually play in midfield effectively, knowing that they've got Garner, Onana, they've got the legs in front of them who can cover those spaces. So I don't see why you need 5 centre-backs to leave these horrible space in between your wing-back and leave yourself outnumbered in midfield. This 4-3-3 is the way forward.
Is a really good point for you. I feel in my head that when you play the 4-3-3, Patterson and Mykolenko can get, when they get forward, it's not predictable. It's when they want, and they don't get tracked, and it's better. When we play it as a wing-back, they get tracked, they get marked.
They can arrive late. Yeah,
they can arrive late. You're right.
Instead of being stood there like lemons waiting for to ding it to them, they can actually come at late runs and underlap, overlap. And it's got so much more balance. But Lampard will say I probably didn't have the players to do that. I watched his tactical analysis where he talked about the Chelsea game and he said Mount likes to occupy this space here and Havertz here. And he said that's why I need the 2 centre-backs, the 3, but the 2 wide ones to go in with them. But look, we'll see what he does. But I just think if you've got the 3, you can. It's very flexible. The 3 forwards can actually play very narrow up front in the box. Your wing backs can get forward, and then you've still got that midfield solidity and the 2 centre halves behind them, like 5, and 2 of them are box to box. So I think it's flexible, and without the ball, it can become 4 with 5 because the wingers come back, becomes packed the midfield, and you've still got 1 up front. You can press with it, you can drop deep with it. I think it's got the perfect balance. Should we do the player ratings then?
Yeah.
Let's get onto the player ratings because we did say 40 minutes. It's realistic. By the way, everyone, if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. We're up to nearly 1,500 subs, which is fantastic. Sorry we haven't been on, myself and David, for a while, but Dan has done amazing as always. Brilliant. Pleasure to have him. Honour to have him. Jordan Pickford then. Basil, would you like to lead the player ratings?
I will give Pickford a 9. Needless to say why, really. You know, he made that many saves. His distribution was poor, but you've got to let him off. His main aim was to save shots, and he saved all of them. I think it was 8 shots on target, and he saved them all. You know, it does frustrate me him lumping the ball out of play, and you think, well, why can't you just angle it? Your shot, you know, angle your positioning when you take the shot. But I'll let that pass for the brilliance of his goalkeeping saves yesterday.
The only thing I would say is, and I'm not trying to be,
we'll go David, Ryan, then me, and people in the comments. You drop what you think on each player we talk about as well to keep you involved.
I'm not going to dispute what you're saying. His kicking was pretty shit. I mean, there was at least 3 or 4 where he's taking it on the left side and he's just booted it straight out of play on the left touchline. But to play devil's advocate, he should save those. I don't think any of them were really that in the corner. I don't think they were top corners and stuff where, okay, the one of them was absolutely phenomenal. The Nunes Andy Carroll one where he hits it onto the back. It's unbelievable. But I would expect him to make it. A keeper of his ability, I'd expect him to make the other saves. You know, they weren't bottom right in the corner, and I think he gets very, very good goalkeeping. I'm not saying it wasn't very, very good goalkeeping, but we've come to expect that from him for him to pull that rabbit out of the hat and do them. So yeah, I would say 9. The only thing that stops him getting a 10 is booting it out of play for no reason.
I'm with you. I'd give him a 9. I think because the problem is, you know, when he set that goal up with his goal kick, he does try that a lot now because his kicking is so good. He can get you on the counter attack very fast. I feel like his goal kicks are going to be shorter soon. When he realizes Gana Gay is going to come deep and we can actually play football, I feel he's going to want to keep possession and you'll see a different Pickford then. I don't think all his kicks are going to go long. It's just that we was so bad last season. We benefited from Pickford just getting the ball up the pitch because we couldn't defend. So I think it will change, but I'll give him a 9 because those saves was cracking. I do think absolutely amazing. He saved us a lot of times.
We mixed it up. I mean, he doesn't have a focal point to really boot it into now without Calvert-Lewin. They pushed Onana into kind of the centre forward areas when we were taking a goal kick or a throw in, which was good. I'm actually pleased to see we're actually using his height, and he won 3 duels out of the 6. You could argue you should be doing that a lot more, but we need to be able to mix it. And I think you're spot on with when some of the better players like Onana's bedded in and Gay gets up to speed and Garner off the bench as well. I think he's going to be able to have that option to play through the lines as well. Because some of the playing through midfield yesterday, playing out from the back was pathetic. I remember one of them went for a corner off her own goal kick. Dave, Michaelenko then?
Should we go Dan or alternate or?
Yeah. Let's go back from Dan, and again, you please, Dan.
Oh, you'll go Michaelenko now then, yeah. I'm going to give him, and I know you're going to be different. We're not going to be the same on this, right? I'm going to give him an 8 because I know he didn't get forward and do much getting forward, but he had a hard player to mark with Salah, and I can't remember Salah doing anything that game. And there was a couple of times where Michaelenko got goal kicks from defensive work with him, and Salah was absolutely fuming with him, and he completely got the better of him. And that is a player that normally hurts us, Salah is. So to keep him quiet and keep him in your pocket, I'm going to give him an 8. I would have given him higher if he got forward a bit more, but he didn't. Obviously, he was that was his main job, is to stop Salah. So I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you agree with us, and David,
drop your comment on him as well.
Any comments relevant to us we're talking. Dan, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm giving him an 8. I think.
Oh, there you go.
I think Mo Salah is arguably the best player in the Premier League. Some people consider him the best player in the Premier League. I think up with Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland, but he kept him quiet. I think it was uncomfortable for him as the game went on. I think there were times when towards sort of the 80 to 95 minutes period, the last 15, I think he struggled. I think he tired. I think that was when his winger, who was Gordon and Gray, didn't protect him as much. I think he got a bit exposed. Listen, I don't think he's that good. And I'm only saying this because I've watched Leighton Baines and Luca Dean, and I've seen these phenomenal attacking fullbacks who have just got everything about them going forward. So we've been really treated. So I don't think he's top draw. He's 23. He's only going to get better. But yeah, he defended very well. He was solid. I don't think he did a lot going forward. But some things that I would point out, he stopped a lot of the counterattacks. There was corners and stuff when Liverpool were racing back up, and he was last defender, and he stopped them, and he read the situations really well. So absolutely an 8. Well done, Michaelenko.
It's hard to disagree with it. It's hard to give him anything lower because, as you've said already, he kept one of the best players, you know, the Golden Boot winner from previous years, including last year, at bay. So I can't go any lower. I mean, one thing that is interesting to note is that we barely ever concede from that side, from what I can remember. Defensively, it looks quite solid on that side.
We have conceded
a lot.
Quite a few of the recent goals, the Villa ones, the Brentford one, were all down that left.
I'd have to watch them back. But
the game, you'd know.
set pieces. A lot of them. Brentford was a set piece, wasn't it? You know, let's move on to.
I've got Do you know Digne? I've got him in my head in that derby where Salah absolutely destroyed him, and that's the last I can remember of him. So I think Mikalenko handling him was good.
Hey, Mikalenko was brilliant. I mean, it wasn't a game for bombing on necessarily. I think if you've got possession and you can hold possession, you can try and be a possession team and get your fullbacks forward and control the game. I don't think we're not that level yet. So I think his job is to defend first and foremost. So the Dean comparison doesn't work. He's a better defender than Luca Dean. He is. It's just that I love my fullbacks to get forward and provide the width. Dave,
who's the next one, Dave?
Into centre midfield, then centre back. Let's do Tarkowski.
Tarkowski 8 as well. You know, he's just solid. Head it, kick it, smash it, get in their face, talking along the back four, leading, commanding with Cody. Can't really fault him that much. So, you know, we kept the clean sheet. So 8 out of 10. You know, he didn't do anything extravagant in terms of his long passing, which we know he's capable of and things like that. So 8 for me.
He kept the clean sheet. He was solid. You know, he read situations quite well. I think Liverpool did get quite a lot of chances in the end, and I think you'd really have to look back at every single one and go, well, he can do better here and he can do better here. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, he's kept the clean sheet. He's been a vocal leader at the back. He hasn't made any of these silly mistakes that we saw him make in some of the other games. So can't disagree with David. I give him an 8.
I'm generally not copying. I'm trying to make mine different, but mine is an 8. I'm gonna give him an 8 as well because you've made all the points bang on. He didn't do nothing. I can't remember him doing nothing wrong. Can't remember him doing anything like fantastic. Like
Nunes bullied. You know, he sniff really.
But he did stop him. And what more can you do? You can't really give a defender less than an 8 for me if they've ever got a clean sheet. Sorry, so yeah, I'll give him an 8.
Dan, moving on then to Connor Cody, who's so unlucky not to score.
I'm gonna raise it up for him. I'm gonna give him a 9 just because I'm still gutted that that goal didn't count because of his celebration. I've watched it back all day today, and his celebration, he went absolutely crazy, and it meant so much to him to score. I didn't expect him to go that crazy to score against them with all the talks that we've had, but generally, he is like proper Everton already. Did you see that video of Cody tapping the Everton board before he went out to the game? Like he's connecting with. I know his kids play for Everton as well, and he's connecting with us. And I feel like he's going to be someone that a lot of us fall in love with. So I'm going to give him a 9.
He did everything you could want him to do defensively. He was organising all of them, and I think you've got to give him a 9 because he touched the badge. He scored. He should hold his run. You know, he should show a little bit more intelligence, just half a yard. Maybe he didn't need to step forward then. But I'm going to give him a 9 because I think defensively he was solid, and I think I probably would have given him an 8.5. But I'm going to give him the extra half a point because he touched the badge and he celebrated.
I'm the same. He gets that extra half for doing that.
He's no red him. You can see
definitely blue.
He wants it. So I think it could be an 8.5, but it definitely should be a 9 because of that.
Basil, what are you going for?
I'm gonna give him an 8.5.
Ooh. Didn't like the celebration.
The reason is because the 3 players that I've given a 9, I thought were just a cut above the rest of the team. And I thought
basing it on that, we're basing it on the touching of the badge. The fact he's a boy at Liverpool.
I can't give him points for things that were beyond his performance. I mean,
really? Are we really?
We have got a strict judge on the panel, and surprisingly, it's Basil.
I just don't want to put
him
on
Ryan.
I don't want to really put him in a tier with the other 2 because I think with the other 3 because I just thought they were just top notch yesterday, and I thought he was excellent. You know, he played these raking passes out wide. Some of them didn't come off, but they were really good vision from centre back to play it over the top on the right hand channel. And he defended resolutely, and he was a leader at the back. And he got his goal. All right, maybe it is a 9, but
hey, you know what I mean? You thought about it, and it went to a 9. There you go.
Maybe it was.
That wasn't that good. And he pinged it
out. It might have been a 10.
I watched a couple of videos back today, and it's stuff I didn't see, but there was a moment where Cody was telling players where to go in position and pushing them out to like turn the ball over for us. And I think Cody does a lot of stuff talking on the pitch that we don't see. That's just a quick point on that.
He was brilliant. I mean, organising, leadership, passion, enthusiastic, and quality, and no mistakes. And you know, I can't.
Ryan, I've never seen you so positive talking about Everton players. Where's Ryan gone?
I just say it as I say it. if he just needs the only thing he lacks the legs. He just lacks a bit of legs. That's it.
It's a good comment from Tolly Toffee, man, that Cody, you know, he was able to keep his head. You know, his performance didn't change at all from when that offside goal was ruled out. Because you can imagine the frustration. You've just scored what could have been the winning goal in the Merseyside derby for your new club.
Very professional.
And somebody goes, "Oh, it's offside." You know.
No.
And
it hurt him. It hurt him. That did, you know. I watched his facial expressions, and the reason he didn't retaliate to Nunes when Nunes frigging acted all cocky when he couldn't even score himself. Don't know why he's telling him about scoring when he can't even put the ball in the back of the net himself. Fair enough, but generally, his face was gutted, and I felt gutted for him because it was the story. It was the script. It should have happened. Cody was the one I was thinking to score in the derby. It was the story, and he did it at the celebration, and all the fans did the celebrations as well, and it was just gutting.
Those things really happen to us, though. As I said, how we look in the story,
next time,
the romanticism, it normally happens to them lot, but
he'll get back.
I really wanted to score a goal at Goodison, you know. Brilliant.
Who's the next player, David?
Patterson. I've got to give him a 9. I can't not give him a 9. He's one in my core group. I mean, the potential in this lad is He's 21 years old, and you know he's already looking a superb player. He's only played 6 Premier League games, and he already looks right at home. He gets forward. He looks strong defensively. He was winning the ball high up the pitch. He was putting early crosses in. I think his crossing will improve. It's a little bit sporadic in its quality, but it will definitely improve, and you know he'll link up. I'd like to see Gray and Gordon just use him a little bit more because he's just got a lot of space on that right side, and they don't seem to want to pass to him. I don't know why, because he's obviously got something about him. But excellent performance.
Yeah, we'll read the comments out for Nathan in a sec, but yeah, I think Nathan Patterson, 6 Premier League games, 20 years of age. Wow. You know, we've been treated to a really good fullback in Seamus Coleman, but I don't see how he's going to get his place back now. Nathan Patterson offered something going forward. He had the engine. He read situations well. He dealt with everything he needed to, more or less. I think there was a couple of times where Firmino got the better of him and Nunes. But, you know, for someone of his age to deliver that kind of performance in a Merseyside derby and show the passion and the leadership as well for such a young age, I've got to say he's got to get a 9.
He's a new favourite, isn't he? Look at the comments when you talk about Patterson 10s. You know what I mean? It's not a surprise. I mean, I was just thinking then. I haven't picked my scores before I come on. I was thinking, what am I going to give him? And I'm going to give him a 10. I generally am going to give him a 10. I was going to say 9.5 because his shot didn't go in.
Not a 10.
No, the reason I'm going to give him a 10 is
a 10 is a hat trick.
No, he's getting a 10 for me because I watched him today, and did you see him when Cody scored his celebration? He went absolutely mental. Watch him on the video when Cody scores. Yeah. He goes absolutely mental, and he goes. That also there's that picture of him getting absolutely pumped when he got the goal kick with Cody. And do you know what? I'm giving him that because I have craved an Everton player that feels the way I feel about Everton during a game. Like generally, I felt like I was in Patterson's body because he was pumped the whole game. Mm. And I know his performance probably is a 9, but I'm going to give him a 10 because that's how I want my players to be. Like generally, that's how I want. I'm giving him a 10 because I love him, and everyone else loves him as well in the comments.
He's just giving 3 points out for random things.
Yeah, but he did have a good game as well, though. He got forward, he got back, yeah.
But he didn't.
You get a lot of bonus points for me if you show character, which we didn't have last season. Couldn't find it in anyone. Yeah, he showed character, and he does give a shit. So for that, you get a lot of points for me because we didn't have that last season. No one cared.
Interestingly enough, we've rated defence quite similar, but the defence is a completely different back line from the Merseyside derby at Goodison last year, which I believe was Keane, Mina, not Mina, but I'm sick of the Holgates and the Keanes and the Colemans. I think they're all finished. And I'm so glad that now we've got a completely new back four. And they just look like they've got good attitude, which I think a lot of our previous players, certainly the ones that we got rid of in this window, and a few left, but we got rid of most of them, got terrible attitudes. And these look like 4 players that have got the personality to be successful.
Can you tell me this in like quick? Because we're obviously getting through this quick. We only said we'd be quick, but do you know Cody's? I know you can't help it. We get too into it, but do you know Cody's deal? Just a quick one, like, 'cause I was thinking about. I know you two probably know more than me.
Quick one. All right, let me get this book open.
Yeah, Cody's deal. Is it? Can we? Like, is there a price tag on him now already? Because I know the deal's loan to buy.
Yeah, I think it's 40 million Ugandan dollars.
You're joking, yeah.
8 million.
What is it? No, seriously, though, Ryan. What is it? Do you know?
8 million GB pounds.
Can they not? Can they? This is my point. Is can they knock the price up because he's playing good for us, or is there a price agreed?
No, it's a set fee.
It's a fixed price.
Now move on.
Oh, that's buzzing with that.
I don't know
Right,
if
next
there's
player.
anything based on his appearances, Ryan, or is it just completely fixed?
No, it's fixed. But you know what? It's one of those things. He's turning 30, and I hate it sometimes when you get a player on loan and they have a really good season, and it makes you buy them, and then all of a sudden they go shit. And that's kind of something we've had. But look, fingers crossed. Okay, so
Centre mid.
Centre mids. Let's roll through these. At least
Yeah.
let's get this done within the hour mark. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys love it, but there's a time.
You can't help it. You can't help it either. You can't. We're that interesting. We're that interested to talk to. We just can't stop talking. Right, next player. I think people have been interested anyway. They've been commenting, so there you go.
It's you, Dan.
The
base.
We're going to go for. I'm going to go for probably the weaker link, but the one that surprised me, Tom Davis. I'm going to go for now.
Okay.
Tom Davis. I think he had a cracking game. Surprised me. Didn't want him on the team sheet, to be fair, because I wanted Garner Gay so bad. But he come on and he ran his socks off. He pressed really high. He's probably one of the main pressers in centre mid. He was the one running, pressing and stuff. He nearly scored. He didn't do anything wrong. There was a couple of times I've seen him. I don't know whether you remember it. He got and helped Patterson out and blocked a few crosses in as well. And I thought, fair play, because I don't like crosses coming in our box. And he blocked some crosses in. And I think he did everything he needed to do. I do still prefer Garner Gay, but I think if our backup players can come up and rise to this standard that we've now created, then it's going to benefit us throughout the season. So I'm going to give him a 7.5.
You know, Tom Davis, he have you noticed how he looked? He came on the scene and he was playing in a good Everton team on paper with the Baineses, the Jagses, the Lukakus and the Barclays, and he looked like he had something to offer. And then the minute we became shitter and shitter and our players with the Schnaglins and the Niasses and all of them, he just looks as bad as them. He's one of those players that I think looks as good as the players he's around. I think he's adaptable. Listen, I don't think he's the best player. I think he's arguably the worst player in the squad. But that's because I look at his attributes and think he's not quick, he's not strong, he's not going to score many goals, he doesn't tackle that well. But look, I'm judging him on that particular game, and I think if he plays like that all season, you're going to say he's a fantastic squad player to have, who can come in, play the 6, play the 8, play the 10 if needed, and fill in the roles. And his performance yesterday was good. You know, he defended well, he read the situations well, and was tenacious, and he should have scored. So I'm going to give him a 7.5 as well, Dan. Because
these players are doing well with you. Tom Davis, 7.5.
He was good. Look, I've called him out.
You can't not, yeah. You can't not, to be fair.
When he's been shit, he's been shit. But I think that's, you know, as a group of crap players playing together, looking bad.
I think they know, Ryan. If they don't step up now, that's it, because we've got some competition in that centre mid.
That midfield is, you've got Alan who can't get a sniff.
Garner coming in.
Garner who's coming in. Garner, Iwobi's now. I don't think he's a winger. He never was a winger. That's why he looked shit out there. He's got to be in midfield as a double 8. He's going to play with the two of them. Onana and Iwobi are going to be the double 8s going forward, box to box, with Garner sitting and fullbacks bombing on, and wingers with free rolls playing like number 10s and Calvert-Lewin and Leland line. That's what he's going to do. You can quote me on this for the Arsenal game. David,
what are you going for, Basil? What mark are you going for on him?
he was going to give him a 7.5. I'm going to talk about
I'm going
Onana.
to give him a 7.5. I thought
There you go.
he
You're right.
pressed really well. He pressed really well. He contributed to our attacks with his pressing and being in the box. He gets into the box. He's trying to score us goals. You know, he hit the post. He was really unlucky. I thought he first time passed around the pitch. You know, he didn't dawdle. He wanted to pass forward, even if it was in tricky spots. I think he looked good yesterday. He was really up for it. But what I thought was really interesting was that I don't think he really played in the 6. I think he was the number 8 on the right-hand side. And I think Onana was the number 6 till Gay came on. And Lampard obviously didn't see him as the 6. So it'll be interesting to see what Lampard actually think his best position was, because under Ancelotti, you know, Benitez, he was a 6.
It's going to be, they're all going to be now, it's going to be one player at the base, and that's either going to be Garner, Alan, or Iwobi. And then it's going to be 2 double. So yeah, sorry. It's going to be 2 box-to-box players in the 3. It's going to be either Onana, Iwobi, Decore. They could all do it. Davis or James Garner. They're all going to do it. That's how it's got to be. That's going to be us moving forward. Okay, let's do Onana, please, Dan.
Onana. I'm going to give Onana a 9.5. Generally going to give him a 9.5. No, I was just going to say 10 because I feel bad not giving him a 10, but I'm going to give him a 9.5. No, I'm going to give it. No, I thought that derby. Listen to me. There's a reason that he got snapped, because they couldn't handle him. That turn against Van Dijk was amazing. That tackle on Robertson in a derby. Did you see how clean that tackle was on a yellow card? Proper clean. And I thought when he was on a yellow card, I thought, oh my God, take Onana off. He's on a yellow card. I don't want him to get a red. But when he got a yellow card, his game stepped up. He is so clever. His tackles was clean. He read the game and he thought, I'm on a yellow card. He's so clever. He's such a clever footballer. And a couple of times on the counter-attack, he's fast, you know. Do you know when Gray did that counter-attack where Mupé missed? Onana was up there as well, you know. He's fast. And his all-round game was amazing. And generally, he took a bad knock. And I thought after the knock, he'd come off and he fighted for us to stay on. His reaction after the game, like I say, you get bonus points for me pumping the crowd after the game and stuff like that. I'm going to give Onana a 9.5. Like, generally can't think of anything he did wrong, and I can think of a lot of stuff he did right. So I know it's a high mark, but Onana definitely gets a 9.5 for me.
Thanks, Dan. I mean, I really can't believe you've given him a 9.5. I think
I love him.
A 9.5, Dan, though, is absolutely ludicrous. I mean,
at least it's not going to be the same. 10.5, there you go.
10.5, that doesn't exist.
It's a good score.
Dan, hi, Kevin. Dan, I can't believe you gave him a 9.5. I think it's ridiculous. I'm going to give him a 9.5. I think.
Oh, yeah. Are you really? Do you like him, though?
You've got bringing the comments up, my joke, ruining my joke. No, I don't think I could give him. I think I'm going to give him a 9.5. I think his tackles were clean on Robertson. I think he's fast. You know that one where Mopé missed. Onana was up there. You know, his all-round game was amazing. These were your quotes. I'm just rehashing them as you've done for the entire stream.
I know you like him, Ryan. You do like Onana.
Listen, I think he jogs. I think he jogs around. Yeah. I think he's probably at 50% fitness. I think he conserves a lot of energy trying to read situations, and I think he's going to be unbelievable. I think he was, defensively tackling with superb situations well. He kept the ball. The one thing I liked about him in that performance was not only that he chipped in defensively, I don't think he ran the show in there. So he's not really a 9.5, but he didn't give the ball away under pressure like in some of the other times and summer games where he panics or he just does a really simple pass back. He actually kept the things moving and played with a little bit more bravery. So I'm really happy with that, and I think I've got to give him a 9.5.
Buzzing. I'm happy with that as well. David, what are you giving him? Probably a 6 now after all.
You're desperate for me to give him a 9.5.
Yeah. Now
what do you want, mate?
I'm giving him a 9.
It's not bad still, is it?
I can't give him a better mark than Patterson or Pickford because I thought they were all on a par with each other. But I thought he was excellent and he really excites me. He's probably the one that excites me the most. I mean, look at his stature and his ability to stride across the pitch. I mean, as you said, Dan, we're in the park end, so we could see that tackle on Robertson coming in the second half really clearly. And you're thinking, what are you doing? Why are you sliding in? You're on a yellow card. But he was so clean. And I think he got stronger as the game went on, and his kind of physicality really helped us in the second half. And he was able to push up on the counter, as Ryan said, when Gay came on and have a bit more freedom. I just thought he looks really good. I'm looking forward to seeing that midfield in action for the next few weeks, hopefully for the whole season.
Should we do the I know it's a sub, but should we do like the midfielders all together and do Gone Again now? Because it was only him that come on in the midfield, wasn't it?
No, I think we're just going to do one person's going to give our substitute for the benefit of time here.
Yeah, go on then.
The other midfielder was Alex Iwobi. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on Alex. I thought that was his quietest game in the midfield, actually, really, to be honest. But I can't really ask for much more than that. I think his work rate was superb. Wasn't the best going forward. I think it was because we didn't have a lot of possession anyway to sustain many attacks. But he was up and down. There wasn't the tackling and all the defensive stuff, but he was in there. He was making the right space, making the right decisions. So I'm going to give him a 7.5. Let's go to David first.
I was going to give him an 8. I thought he set the tempo for every press that we did. So when we pressed as a unit, he was the one to sprint forward and hem them in. But when he stayed back, we stayed in shape and let Liverpool come into the half until we thought it was right to put some pressure on. And I thought that was really interesting to see. But he works so hard. It wasn't his best game. He didn't contribute a huge amount going forward in terms of his passing, which we know he has that in his locker. But he does look a lot better in the midfield, and he was just really solid, and he worked really hard. Dan?
I'm going to give him. I'm going to go higher than you. I thought he was still pretty good. I like you say it wasn't as good as the others, but I'm going to give him 8.5. 8.5 for me.
7.5 because is above average, Dan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But generally, I've been watching. I've been watching where he.
Good. 9 is outstanding and 10 is world class. Then you've got to remember that 6.
You've got to remember it's a derby, though. You get bonus points from me on a derby. But the only reason that I say that as well is because Iwobi was. I've been watching that video of him ripping Nunes. Do you know where he does the 2-touch and goes around Nunes and completely rips him? Showed quite a bit of skill in the derby. Iwobi did. Really, he's class. He is class. 8.5. I'm going to give him because
got a bonus point
like Basil. Yeah, you get bonus point for skills like Iwobi did in derby. But like Basil said, though, I really do feel that he set the tone. I feel like Onana and who's our other centre midfielder gone completely out of my head. Onana and Davis had to step up to Iwobi's standard. Iwobi sets the tone. Every game is on it now. I love Iwobi at the minute. Yeah, 8.5. Next player.
Right. As the owner of this YouTube channel, I'm going to speed things up here as fast as possible. I'm doing my front 3 together, and then I think that's going to, otherwise we'll be here all bloody night. So we've got Gordon, Gray, and Neil Maupay. Okay.
Combined rating.
No, I'm going to do 3. Gordon had his quietest game for us this season. I think he wasn't. Not a lot of things came off for him. He tried, but he didn't have a field. He didn't have his best game there. Damari Gray was the better of the two. I think he really wanted to make things happen, but he didn't have a lot of players and support around him. But he was very dangerous looking. And I think on another day, he could score. And Neil Maupay should have scored, but I think it was his first game. Okay, so I don't know how harsh you want to be. I would give Gordon a 7. I would give Damari Gray an 8. And I would give Neil Maupay a 7. I think Neil Maupay did what you would expect. He just worked hard. But I think I can't give him more than a 7 because he should take that chance. He's a striker. He's 6 yards out with the whole goal to aim at. Kick off at me all you want, but how can I give him more than a 7? I don't think he did anything else to deserve more than that. I think if I give him more than a 7, it would just be silly. 7 is good. It's above average performance. 6 is average, and is good. Sorry, and 5 is just average. 4 is poor. 3 is very poor. 2 is woeful, and 1 is Michael Keane. But the that's mine. So
Basil, you going now, Basil or me?
7, 8,
All three together. What are you going for, Basil?
All three
like he's just done. So same order as him.
Gordon first, then Gordon. I don't know. People are going to shout at me now, but I thought he was a 6.
I was thinking, but I didn't want to go.
He didn't contribute anything the whole game. He didn't contribute from an attacking perspective. In terms of defensive shape, he always seemed to be leaving a man in space, a distance away from him. I don't know whether he thought, I've got the pace to get back in, so it's fine, I'll tuck in narrow, or it was Lampard's instructions. It was fine because he does have the pace to get over, but you're just thinking, you can hear people in the crowd shouting, Gordon, you're lazy, get over, But he just didn't really contribute. I don't know whether also he played 3 games in the space of a week, and he's only his second season, really. He was never used to really playing consistent matches. Maybe his fitness is still not quite there for all that running for 3 games in a week. Mopey, 7.5. I give him an upgrade on Ryan. He did get the most sprint, the most distance covered in the game. I think it was 11 kilometers. He was top of our list, more than Iwobi. So I think he's got to get bonus for that. And I think he made us look more of an outfit up front. He linked the play where he could. He should have scored on the counter in the second half, and that's where his points get stalled because it was a clear goal scoring chance. I can't give him any more for that. And Gray,
what you're saying is he ran around a lot and missed a blatant easy chance.
He did, but he also linked the play. He backed into the centre backs. He played off them. He was good at linking up. He was far better than Rondon, and he offered a lot more balance to the team than Rondon does. So from what I saw of his first debut in the derby, running that hard when he's not match fit, probably because he's not played for 3 weeks, 7.5. And Gray as an 8 for me because he worked really hard and he looked a real threat, getting in their box, dribbling, trying to get shots off. Dan?
I don't like to admit or be the same as Ryan, but mine are the same as Ryan. It starts with Gordon, I think 7. I don't want them to be the same. I was thinking like you're going to think
I'm your boss, Daniel.
I know, yeah, yes sir. I was thinking when you're going to think I'm going to give every player high marks, but generally Gordon I'm going to give a 7 because he missed the chance where he could have been running into the box earlier. I don't know if you can remember that in your head, but it was put across goal, and he could have been if he had that striker instinct and he was a yard ahead of himself. It was a tap in, so he missed that, and then he just didn't get it right, did he, Gordon? But he still put the work rate in. He had 2 other good games, so I can forgive him. I'm going to give Gordon a 7, same as you, Ryan. 2. I was going to say fucking 2s, aren't there? Mupe. I'm going to give Mupe the same as you as well, 7, because he should have scored. But I do feel like he shouldn't have even played that game, but he did because he wanted to get his fitness up. So I respect him for that. And just to have a striker on the pitch felt so good. Just to have a striker make those defenders worried, and it brought our attacking midfielders into play. So to have Mupe on the pitch, I was buzzing whether he's fit or not. But gets a 7. And then the last one, Damari Gray. I tweeted it earlier on. Looks a lot sharper. His feet was fast. He looks a real danger. His corners was the only thing I will say that made me think about 7, but his corners wasn't that good. But generally, he is a threat when he's on it, and he's been on it the last couple of games. So there you go. There's my mark.
If you could describe Gordon's performance in 2 words or 3 words, what would you say?
Underwhelming. He did.
So how does he get a good mark? Which is a 7 out?
The more I think about it, I have to say what I say and judge it as a match, and I can't actually give more than a 6 because you're right. I mean, the end product wasn't there, and defensively he wasn't that solid. I think nothing really came off for him. He made a lot of errors. I think Damari Gray was the better one. They're both having really good seasons, and I think with a striker and this functional midfield and the right formation, they're going to be brilliant, but I might have to downgrade it.
The only reason, like I say, I could go 6, but I know he's watching the channel and he watches the channel, so I don't want to knock his confidence, so I'm going to leave him with a 7.
Well, he played excellent in the other 2 games.
We love him, but he'll know. I mean, he'll know. And the Neil Mopay one, you could say, oh, it's only his first match. He's not trained and all this stuff. Well,
like
we
I said,
look at it as he played in the game. I'm not taking the context of anyone's personal lives into the situation. I'm just looking at it, and he missed a sitter. And, you know, I think if that was in another game, he probably would score that. I think it was because it's a derby, and he's had a 70-metre sprint, and he's shattered.
Okay, he said that. He did say that, didn't he?
Yeah, he still should just slot it in. Right, substitutions, guys, everyone, before you watching, thanks for all the comments. We've read them as they come in. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. We're up to 1,465 subscribers, so closing in on 1,500. That's a fantastic target. It took us about 13 or 14 months to get to 1,000, and we're going to get to 1,500, so another 500 in about 3 months, which is great. So growing super. Fast. Shout out to all the fantastic boys, Jeff, Jan, Andy, Stevie, John, Dan. You've done a brilliant job on the channel, certainly the last few weeks as well. Subs. Okay. Liverpool made a lot more than us, but we still made a few substitutions. Garner Gay came on. And was it just McNeil?
Yeah, that was it. I was thinking, did Alan come on? Did Alan come on? I don't know whether he did.
No, apparently he's struggling for fitness.
Yeah.
The Garner, then, I mean, he wasn't fit, but if you watch his highlights reel of everything he did, you know, in possession, he was brilliant. And I think defensively, he'll get better with that fitness and knowing where to be with his players. And it was a seamless game. You know, he wasn't outstanding, but he was good. He was very good. So I'm going to give him an 8 off the bench. And Neil Mopay, sorry, not Neil Mopay, Dwight McNaughton.
Dwight McNeil.
Dwight McHappy. Listen, I think Dwight McNeil was a weird signing. It's just a case of who was available, who's cheap, who's local, who's going to come to us. And we've gone from, he's very, very left-footed. He's got no right foot. I've never seen a more left-footed player than Dwight McNeil, which makes him quite predictable, sadly. But in this game, he just ran around a bit, and he had that shot which got deflected. So I don't know. I'll copy one of you's. 6.5, maybe. It didn't do an awful lot to say wow. He had a shot and he dribbled. He ran around a bit. 6.5.
I'm gonna give him a 6.5. So you're round about where I am.
Okay, that means I must be right then.
Yeah, ain't much difference. He didn't have much to do, did he? Just run around and close down. That's all he did when he come on. Didn't really do much.
It wasn't that good. Let's be honest.
One thing he didn't.
Garner Gay, I'm just going to put this in there quick. I'm going to give him a 20 out of 10. Because I just got...
Give us a song, Daniel, before we go.
What's that?
You're going to give us a song before we wrap things up?
I might do in a minute. Do you know what I mean? I'm just buzzing his own. I generally am. How was it, Ryan? You went to the game, didn't you? Did you go to the... Oh, you didn't go to this one, did you? You went to the game?
Yeah,
you did go to the game. How was the atmosphere when you come on?
Unbelievable. But the whole game was fantastic atmosphere. The Liverpool fans were silent. The Liverpool fans were mute, and they knew it was because they were struggling. You know, even though we didn't have much of the ball, we stopped them doing things. They made a lot of unenforced errors throughout the match, and we made them play crap, basically. You know, they'll say they played crap, but we made them play crap. They made a lot of defensive substitutions, and they struggled really until very late when we were knackered, and we didn't have 5 world-class players like Jota to bring off the bench and Robertson. You know, it's ridiculous, but the atmosphere was fab. The goal, me and David celebrated absolutely wildly. We were making gestures, and then all of a sudden you sit back on your seat and you're like, oh, fuck, it'll be ruled out. They'll find something to rule it out. Dave, go on then, wrap things up.
6.5 on Dwight McNeil. He created that shot which got looped over and nearly scored, so I give him something for that. But I could sense the crowd were on his back. He wasn't really chasing back, and I felt like we were getting a little bit outnumbered on the right sort of side of defense, and he wasn't really chasing. He'd only been on 2 minutes, and he couldn't sprint. Maybe he just couldn't get into the pace of the game. He was only on for 10 minutes. Gay, it was so good to see him back on the pitch. That's an understatement and a half. We've not replaced the guy in 3 years. You know, he's my favorite player, and he's not even played. He's only played for 20 minutes. I know he's played before, but you know, he was one of my favorites when he was there, and he's already my favorite now. But look at the way that tactically Liverpool changed things in the second half, and Firmino came on and started occupying all these spaces in midfield, and Lampard made that change. I don't know if we're going to rate Lampard in a second, but Lampard made that change. He brought Gay on, who's obviously not totally fit, but he looks fit already in a way, because he's athletic, and he just marshaled spaces where he needed to be. He got his foot in, he got a cross in the box, he just comes from nowhere and he gets his foot over and wraps it out, and then he just does the simple thing of getting it forward or fizzing it, as Ryan said, to Michaelenko. But his passing is probably going to be improved. I think we'll see that from his PSG days, and we'll see. We'll see. The proof will be in the pudding over the next few months as whether he's still got that same tenacity, as well as bringing more nous in terms of his passing. So we will see. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
I just seen in the comments someone say roll on the Arsenal game. We will be doing a preview for that. And I've watched Arsenal. I thought they were the better team today, and I think we've got a massive game and loads to talk about with that Arsenal game. So we will be doing a preview. I don't know when you're doing it, Ryan, but yeah, we will be talking about that.
We need to just get the wins on the board. I think the wins will come. I take a point against Arsenal, and I think there'll be so many times where we'll say we'll take a point, but at some point, I think after the Arsenal game, with Calvert-Lewin up to full fitness, Mopé settled in. I'm hoping that we'll be fine. We will do fine if we can keep this 4-3-3. These players fit with Calvert-Lewin coming in and Mopé, and all of the new ones settled in. But yeah, Garner. Oh God,
Garner.
He settled in like he wasn't away. He's only going to get better at reading and protecting the defence. You've got to remember, he hasn't played with any of these players apart from Tim Davis and Jordan Pickford. None of them. It was a completely new team. And even some on the bench, a lot of them are gone. Like, he played with the likes of Gomez, who've left. But, he's like a more mobile. He's what we thought Alan was going to be. Alan was meant to be the number 6 to come in and replace Garner. This world-class number 6. He hasn't
Can I just say one thing about Garner, though? The moment I wake up, every hour, every day, it's you I need, Idrissa Gana Gay. I've fucking been singing that. It stayed in my head everywhere I go.
Is he like it's like the Pokemon got in midfield, isn't it? Garner or not?
I love him. The moment I wake up, every hour, every day, it's you I need, Idrissa Gana Gay. Fucking love it, mate. I love him.
Right, guys. That's all for us today on Follow Everton. David, thank you very much for coming on, as always. And Dan, if you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you turn notifications on, the bell. We'll ping you. We'll probably do a match preview for Arsenal either Thursday evening or Friday evening. I will let you know on Twitter. Make sure you give everyone a follow at the bottom. You can follow the main Follow Everton account, which I run. You can also follow our pundits, Basil and Dan, on Twitter. Make sure you give Allerton Blue needs a shout out. Sorry, this side. It's reversed weirdly. Give Allerton Blue a follow on Twitter, please.
Yeah, get his followers up, to be fair. He's a legend. Get his followers up.
Get his followers up. He's a
fan. I'll drop him some retweets. Get his followers up. It's too much of a big timer to not have big time followers.
Guys, thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the likes.
Have a good night, everyone.
Dan, for coming on. Take care.